Good evening, Covels, and welcome to the Monday edition of Beaver News. I'm Cassady Gilroy.
And I'm Hayden Wilcox. Hatfield Marine Science Center will be getting a new building thanks to the 5-year, $2.6 million grant from the National Science Foundation. The Hatfield Science Center, based in Newport, will be building a free choice learning center which will focus on the different ways people learn. According to the university, this grant is the largest award given to the Oregon Sea Grant in its 40-year history and one of the biggest in the history of the National Sea Grant Program. Program Director Stephen Brandt has this to say about the new grant, quote, "Studying how people learn is critical to Sea Grant because it can help us understand how best to communicate with the diverse public audiences who rely on us for research and education related to ocean and aquatic issues," end quote. The research project will be led by OSU College of Education faculty member Sean Rowe, who will utilize state-of-the-art human observation technologies developed and used in the center. These technologies will include cyber learning, a network of computer and communication programs to support a range of different learning styles. This cutting-edge research started in 2004 and is supported by not only by the Sea Grant Program and NSF, but also NOAA and the Oregon Department of Education.
According to the Barometer, the House of Representatives of the Associated Students of Oregon State University attended its second meeting of this academic year last Wednesday. The primary discussion was focused upon amendments to Joint Bill 7101, a bill designed to organize a special committee to form a student bill of rights for OSU students. It was initially proposed on the 27th of September. Among the changes made to the bill was the stipulation that required at least one member of the committee to be a graduate student of OSU, and the inclusion of the Able Student Alliance, who will be allowed to oversee the amendments to the bill, along with several other student groups. Additionally, a subcommittee was also included in the bill whose purpose will be to evaluate and determine the necessity of creating a student bill of rights. The amendments were unanimously agreed upon.
Ribbons were cut today as the tours began for the newest and most unique student building on campus. The International Living Learning Center, ILLC, is located near Bloss and Finley dorms. According to the university, the ILLC serves as INTU's headquarters, a resident hall, classroom structure, and business center. It is home to over 320 international and domestic students and offers 26 classrooms specifically for INTU OSU academic classes and houses INTU OSU's administration offices and international programs. INTU OSU offers undergraduate and graduate pathway programs designed for international students who wish to earn a degree in the U.S. but may have slightly lower grade point averages, test scores, or English language proficiency. The campus resource features a brand new Cassady market across from Arnold Dining Center and next to Pete's Coffee. There is also an all-purpose auditorium that can be used as a lecture hall. The classrooms boast state-of-the-art technology. The building cost was $52 million, with university housing and dining services paying off the debt through the revenue collected from student fees and sales from Pete's Coffee, Cassady Marketplace, and the space UHDS leases to OSU in the building. The residence hall is easily one of the most expensive on campus. Per academic year, the student will pay approximately $10,080.
A combined total of $42 million for the month of September has been earned in contracts and grants by the faculty of OSU. This is a new institutional record, beating last month's total by approximately $7.5 million, according to the university. The largest grant, which amounted to $12 million, was awarded by the National Science Foundation and will be directed towards a green materials chemistry center, which will be developed alongside several other partners, including the University of Oregon. OSU's president, Edward Ray, praised OSU's research grants, saying, quote, "Our research program provides experiential learning opportunities that simply aren't available in many other places," end quote. In a study by the Los Alamos National Laboratory, Corvallis has been recognized for earning more patents per capita than any other city in the United States, many of which originated from faculty members in OSU.
According to the Barometer's Camille Jacobson, a new study has shown that university students are not getting the right nutrients in their diet. It turns out the problem lies in the avoidance of certain foods like fruits and vegetables. A study has shown that new college students, specifically freshmen and sophomores, may not be making the best decisions about what they eat. The results of the study indicate that men and women alike consume about 4 to 5 servings of fruit a week instead of the FDA-suggested 5 servings a day. Studies also show that the lack of essential nutrients is being accompanied by a low fiber intake for females and a high fat intake for males. The results of the study indicate that females tend to have better eating habits than males. Also, students who make their own meals pay more attention to food labels and therefore more cautious about what they eat. Bradley Cardinal, professor of social psychology, physical activity, and co-director of the Sports and Exercise Psychology Lab, says, quote, "Often the most expensive foods are healthier foods, which may be inconsistent with budget restraints students often face. Right now, the unhealthy choice is often the easiest and the cheapest choice." We'll be right back after a short break. Be sure to stick around.
Started with a little pain in my knee. Now my joints hurt so bad I can hardly walk. What's happening to me?
For answers, ask your doctor the right question. Could I have lupus?
So you can't save money? It's easy as pie. Drink from the tap. A $3 bottle of water a day times 10 years times 6% interest is over 14,000 clams. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
I present to you Algebra 2. Who will step up to his challenge?
Me.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college.
Real men know that getting tested is the way to take care of their families. That's why real men wear gowns. For a list of the tests you need, go to ahrq.gov.
No matter where you live, life in the ocean depends on you. Do your part to help protect it. Recycle and dispose of your trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
Metal gun! Metal gun! Let's go! Hurry! Metal gun! Metal gun! Metal gun! Metal gun! Metal gun!
Dude, why is your mom driving us to MetalCon?
Remember when I bought us all snowboards on that credit card and never paid it back? Well, I guess they check that stuff out when you apply for a car loan.
Afterwards, we'll all go out for ice cream.
Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov.
It's always formal, right?
They were.
When you open a book, you can explore new lands, make new friends, and discover new adventures. There are amazing possibilities when you open your mind to reading. Explore new worlds. Read.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys. So you can't save money? It's easy as pie. Brown bag your lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is 21,000 bucks. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Welcome back to Beaver News. According to the barometer, Music a la carte has once again returned to Oregon State University, with their first concert being shown last Friday, the 7th of October. Appearing in the Memorial Union, Music a la carte is a weekly concert series that performs classical music for the pleasure of the community. Founded in 1969 by Dr. Marlon Carlson and his wife Angela, the show has become a tradition and occurs every Friday at noon for approximately 45 minutes. Music department publicist and events coordinator Erin Sneller encourages attendance and states, quote, "It's an opportunity to hear classical, chamber, and other types of music that aren't usually offered for free," end quote.
If you've been noticing a decrease in the amount of amphibian life in your area, you're not alone. Scientists at OSU have found that several factors are leading to an increase in disappearance of native amphibian life, which include depletion of the ozone layer, pollution, habitat destruction, and chytrid fungus known as BD. According to McKinley Smith of the Daily Barometer, recent studies by the zoology department have shown that the rise of fungus like BD are direct hazards to frogs, toads, and other amphibian life. The fungus, once attached to the victim, creates an electrolyte imbalance, which causes heart attack and death. The American bullfrog, an invasive species from the eastern United States, may be the leading cause of this outbreak, carrying the fungus into native habitats without showing any symptoms and infecting the wildlife there. Research has shown that treating those infected with antifungals and storing them in warmer climates may help treat the infection, but its use in the wild is impractical. Using antifungals on a large scale could cause more harm than good, as Julia Buck points out in the quote, "Fungi are an important component of the ecosystem, so we'd be sacrificing all the beneficial ones too," end quote.
According to a 2010 national survey of American college freshmen conducted by the Higher Education Research Institute at UCLA, less than 52% of students report having an above-average emotional health, and an increasing number of students report feeling overwhelmed before entering college. Here on campus, Counseling and Psychological Services, CAPS, is available to all OSU students to help with emotional distress, and starting this academic year, almost all services are free of charge, aside from separate fees, which may occur for tests or follow-up examinations. A number of personal services are available, including, but not limited to, 90-minute counseling sessions, over 17 therapy groups, sexual assaults and support services, and the Mind Spa. As stated by Marceline Bamba, a clinical director and licensed psychologist at CAPS, the most common problems experienced in OSU are depression, be it seasonal or otherwise, anxiety, economic-related stress, and relationship issues. CAPS is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and are available for drop-in appointments as well. Additionally, there are several hotlines available for emergency situations, which may be found at their website, oregonstate.edu/council.
Don't be alarmed. According to the university, Oregon State University will be having a school-wide safety alert check at 2 p.m. on October 12th. The system, first installed 3 years ago in the wake of the Virginia Tech massacre, is designed to send out text messages and emails to everyone registered to the university. The system, supported by Blackboard Connect, is able to send out thousands of texts, emails, and voice messages within minutes of the message being sent. Along with being used once a term for emergencies, this system has been put into real use over the past few years. Several such incidents include warning campus about a police standoff with an armed gunman, a steam tunnel explosion, and a fire last year that caused the campus to close. System administrators encourage individuals to prioritize their personnel information so that, in the event of an emergency, messages can be sent quickly and efficiently. Oregon State University tests this system every term.
Quick break, but don't tune away, because we got more news ahead, including a story about a boating accident and the Occupy Wall Street movement. Stay tuned.
Three out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
Hair loss. Now this rash on my face, what's going on?
For answers, ask your doctor the right question.
Could I have lupus?
explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel like a fish with no water.
Learn how to prevent your child's next asthma attack. Because even one attack is one too many.
All right. Sorry.
Anyway.
Who are you talking to? Kelly?
Mom.
All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
No matter where you live, life in the ocean depends on you. Do your part to help protect it. Recycle and dispose of your trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
The mailbox and the traffic light. Both are ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
And we're back with more news here on KBVR. After treading water for about 20 hours, a 4-year-old girl and 3 others were rescued Sunday by Coast Guard crews off the Florida Keys, while an 80-year-old woman on the boat drowned before she could be reached. The Coast Guard said in the news release that the rescue occurred Sunday morning near Marathon, which is roughly halfway between Key Largo and Key West. Those saved are among a group of 8 who had been on the boat that sank not long after noon Saturday. The elderly woman was among those on the boat, but the Coast Guard reported that she never surfaced. The other members of the group were picked up by passerby. Not all of the boaters were wearing life jackets, according to the Coast Guard's initial report. The crew, based off the Coast Guard's Marathon station, brought the 4 rescued boaters to emergency medical workers waiting at a nearby marina and dive center. They were assisted by members of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, which is investigating the incident.
According to CNN, today marks the 24th day of the so-called Occupy Wall Street protests and has now attained the spotlight of radio talk show Keeping It Real, which is hosted by Reverend Al Sharpton. Sharpton, an American Baptist minister and civil rights activist, claimed that he is supporting a cause that, quote, speaks for 99% of the people, end quote. The Occupy Wall Street movement claims to denounce, quote, corporate greed and social inequality, end quote, though demonstrations also include other topics such as the war in Afghanistan. Approximately 250 protesters have been camping at Zuccotti Park at this time.
Al Davis dies at 82. Oakland Raiders owner Al Davis, who had a storied career in professional football as a coach, commissioner, and owner, died Saturday, the team said. He was 82, and the cause of death was not immediately released. Much of Davis's career was spent in Oakland, where he first arrived as coach in 1963, and challenged with turning about a team that was picked at the bottom of the standings. The results were almost immediate, finishing 10-4 that season, resulting in Davis being named Coach of the Year. At 33, he was both coach and general manager of the Raiders, making him the youngest person to hold that dual position. According to the Raiders website, by the time he arrived in Oakland, Davis had already been labeled a young coaching genius by Sports Illustrated. A commissioner of the American Football League in 1966, he played a role in the merger of that league with the National Football League. Davis's son, Mark Davis, is now running the team.
A new law signed last Saturday by Californian Governor Jerry Brown will enable undocumented immigrant students in California to receive state-funded financial aid by 2013 to assist them in attending college, according to CNN. At this point, all illegal immigrant students are required to pay resident tuition rates if they graduated from a state high school. Brown stated that this law, quote, allows students who are on a path to citizenship to apply and receive state aid, end quote. According to the California Department of Finance, an estimated 2,500 students will receive this grant, amounting to a total of $14.5 million.
Homer won't have to leave home after all. In a press release on Friday, Fox and The Simpsons agreed to extend the animated series' run into a 24th and 25th season. While the details of the deal weren't announced, it is widely expected that the show's producers and voice actors will go home with less dough than they had in their previous contract. 20th Century Fox Television acknowledged to CNN earlier this week that they were working towards an agreement, while saying future shows couldn't be made, quote, under its current financial model, end quote. There was no mention of those talks Friday, beyond news of the agreement. The two-season renewal means that The Simpsons are already the longest-running scripted show in the history of television. It is scheduled to air 559 episodes. That includes its 500th next February. And in 1989, The Simpsons earned their own spot in Fox's lineup as the creation of Matt Groening, who still produces The Simpsons to this day. The Simpsons has enticed dozens of guest stars over the past 22 years, from regulars like Kelsey Grammer as Sideshow Bob, to shorter stints from the likes of Sting, Michael Jackson, Tom Hanks, Jay Leno, and many others. It has also earned 27 Emmy Awards. It has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and was named by Time magazine as the, quote, best show of the 20th century, end quote. Along the way, the quirky, ageless family has also infiltrated as much as it has reflected American culture. We're going to take a break, one more short break, but when we return, we'll be bringing you some more national and international stories, including the passing of music legend and an oil spill off the coast of New Zealand. Stay tuned.
Poor kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
Hair loss. Now this rash on my face, what's going on?
For answers, ask your doctor the right question.
Could I have lupus?
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel like a fish with no water.
Learn how to prevent your child's next asthma attack. Because even one attack is one too many.
Welcome back to Beaver News on KBVR Channel 26. According to CNN, legendary award-winning pianist Roger Williams passed away early last Saturday from pancreatic cancer. Williams was 87 years old. Born in Omaha, Nebraska, Williams attended Drake University and the Juilliard School in New York City, where he met Dave Kapp, founder of Kapp Records, who led him on his career. With hit records like Born Free and themes from the movie Somewhere in Time, Williams earned the right to be inducted to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Williams has also played for 9 U.S. presidents and was close friends with the Reagan family, whom he met in his early years. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan praised Williams as being, quote, a great pianist, a great American, and a great friend, end quote. Williams is expected to be buried at the Crystal Cathedral Memorial Gardens in California.
After striking a reef off the coast of New Zealand, the Liberian tanker, the MV Rena, began leaking oil into the Pacific Ocean, 12 nautical miles from Tauranga. According to CNN, the ship began leaking oil around Wednesday morning. However, reports suggest that the ship has managed to retain 450,000 gallons of its nearly 500,000 payload. Despite the efforts from national and international cleanup crews, the oil is still causing massive damage to the wildlife in the area. Oil-soaked dead birds and other wildlife are being found throughout the region, causing Greenpeace to voice its extreme concern and to press the New Zealand government to cease its use of further chemical dispersants. Greenpeace's Steve Abel said, quote, "This is an unfortunate illustration of just how difficult it is to deal with oil spills at sea. Even a slow and relatively accessible oil spill like this one has clearly stretched New Zealand's response capability to its limits," end quote. 500 of New Zealand's defense forces are currently on the shore, preparing for a quick cleanup when the oil finally does reach the shoreline.
As reported by CNN, dozens of women in Yemen were attacked Sunday during a march in the honor of Tawakkul Karman, a 32-year-old human rights activist and the first Arab woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Pro-government gangs attacked the supporters with rocks and batons, and at least 38 women were injured. The march, which occurred in the Yemeni province of Sana'a, was one of 3 that took place. The other 2 were located in Taiz and Shabwa. The number of protesters exceeded a combined total of 20,000 people. 15,000 were in Sana'a alone, alongside Karman. The purpose of the protest is to garner the United Nations support in imposing sanctions against President Ali Abdullah Saleh's regime.
Homicide rates are reaching crisis levels in Central America and the Caribbean. Countries with the highest increase of homicides over the past few years include Mexico, Honduras, Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, and the Dominican Republic. According to CNN, homicide rates in Honduras have doubled, and rates in Mexico have climbed a staggering 65% over the past 5 years. According to local news reports, most of these murders are due to the rise in organized crime, specifically drug trafficking. However, these deaths accounted for only a quarter of all firearm-related deaths in the area. Over 4 in every 10 reported deaths in the area are related to firearms. According to the UN, about 80% of all worldwide homicides are committed by men, and studies show that men are more often murdered in public places, whereas women are more commonly murdered at home. The United Nations 2010 Global Homicide Report showed that an estimated 468,000 people were killed in reported homicides, with a sobering 31% of that from the Americas alone. Well, that's all the news for tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for another live broadcast of the Beaver News. Thank you and good night.
You never change it, as sure as the stars shine above. Well, you're nobody till somebody loves you, so find yourself somebody to love.
I get paid for loving.